Hey everybody, this is James Jenkins from Waco, Texas, home of the 2021 Men's National Basketball Champion, the Baylor Bears. Thank you for listening to this episode of Game Notes on the Crown Rest Podcast. Serve the game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming at you virtually live from Waco, Texas and Baylor University. I'm here with 16-year official James Jenkins. James, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Paul. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for being here. Just for the dedicated audience of basketball officials listening, just give us a brief ref bio, where you're from, how long you've been reffing, and how you connected with Crown Refs.
Okay, so I've been reffing for about 15, 16 years now, and I started my craft when I was in Amarillo, Texas, back at around 2003, 2004. And so been calling a lot of ball predominantly in Amarillo, Texas, in that chapter for the longest time. Really just decided one day, hey, let's try it out. You know, I played sports in high school and stuff like that, and never really thought about becoming an official. But, you know, one year I had some buddies just kind of talk me into it a little bit. And then I just decided to go one night and join the chapter. And from there, it just kind of slowly developed. You know, I met some cool guys, you know, back in those days, and they took me under their wing. And so just progressively stuck with it. There was a couple years where I stopped because I went into teaching and coaching. And then once I was changing schools at that time, I was no longer a coach. And so I picked back officiating up, and basically from that point have never stopped since. So, you know, calling in Amarillo for the longest time. You know, it's where I got a few of my regional tournaments here in the state of Texas. And then I was very, very excited when those moments started happening for me. And I think at that pivotal point in my officiating career, that was one of those where I took it really more serious than what I kind of did in my past. And was like, you know what? I think this could be something for me in the future. And so transferring down here to Waco for the last 3 years, obviously I feel like, you know, moving different parts of the state, there's a lot more opportunity down here in Central Texas kind of versus in the Panhandle. So to answer your question about getting involved in Crown Refs, it was probably about a year ago. And you know the guy, Scott Hamby.
What's up, Scott?
Yeah. Scott gave me a call and was asking how I was doing during COVID times. I said, yeah, it's going good. Kind of struggling to miss basketball. And he told me about you and told me about the program and what it is. And I thought, you know what? I've never heard of anything out there like this. You know, it's always kind of like the camp situation where you sign up, go to camps, and, you know, you pay your fee and you get evaluated and you get on video. And that's the only true feedback that you could get. And so, you know, he mentioned it to me, and I was like, I'm going to give this a shot, you know? And so waiting another full circle here, another year later, you know, Scott was he kept kind of asking me about it this year. He goes, you going to do it? You going to do it? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And so, you know, I was pretty nervous about it, you know, a little scared and that kind of thing, which, you know, it can be figured in. But, you know, I started requesting a lot of my videos of my games, especially the last year or 2 years. And so I think getting copies and just watching from that perspective, I was like, you know what, this is a done deal. I'm going to do it. And so I was sitting in my chair one night, and that's when I messaged you, and I was like, and then you called me the next day and we had that conversation. I was like, all right, it's full blown. Let's go. So
Love it. Thanks for that story. Now, how has How has the report impacted you on the court? Have you had a chance to ref since?
I didn't. So whenever, the time, just with the timing and playoffs, and the state tournament and all that taking place, I got to see the report the day that you had sent it, and I think it was that week, that Tuesday was my last game of this year.
Okay. Now
So
you be working rec games?
I don't particularly really know if there's anything recreational here in Waco. I've kind of started asking around, and I'm kind of waiting on feedback on that. But what I have done is there's a lot of I guess they call them GASO, GASO tournament, like AAU ball kind of here in Texas. And there's a lot of big time tournaments coming up throughout the state. We've got Duncanville, you got Bryan, Texas, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas. And so one of them is in the first part of April. And I was telling you about it, that I'd signed up for a camp. And so Scott and I, we're going to go to that camp together. And so I've kind of asked some of our chapter members, is there a way that we can get kind of in these games without being in a camp setting situation? Because, getting this IPR stuff going and the notes and the game notes and all that stuff. And I'm just like, the only time I'm able to practice is in my house, So yeah, that's where it kind of stands right now.
Yeah, we got to get you some games then so you can go apply this,
Definitely.
For sure. And actually, I'm glad you're using it as a great lead up to camp. Initially, that was one of my ideas with the IPR, is it's a great lead up for camp. And I do still think it is a great lead up. But then after doing a bunch of the reports, I said, wait, no, this is a camp. It's actually a great camp. So it's a great camp lead up, and it's a great online camp as well, based on all of the information that I send to you. It's pretty loaded with info. You're able to digest all of it?
Yeah.
Great. Where do you want to start? You showed a lot of potential. I think you're a really good official. I think you're going to continue to keep getting better. So I want to kind of give you an opportunity to dictate where we go here.
I just listening from your other IPRs and stuff like that, I think where I was really kind of wanting to start was like at the very end of the game.
Good. That'd be different.
I'm trying to get my timing of the video here set up. So
okay,
just to kind of go
ahead. You want to pull up that play?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me share the screen, and we'll let's just tell me what the timestamp is.
Okay, I think the timestamp was 106. Yeah, that's fine. We can go from there. This is just the end of the timeout.
So let's start off the IPR a little different. Great idea. Instead of looking at your first play, let's look at your last play. End of the game. Take me through it.
Okay, so team in red called a timeout, and then I think there's like 12, 13 seconds left in the game. I'm at C, and obviously got the last shot. So team in red's inbounding the ball. Okay, a little bit of pressure bringing it up in the front court. So like right about here, they drew up the play, ball gets turned over, ball gets up, and the bucket goes in. So at that point, I was frozen solid.
Stuck
because here I was right, because when that play happened, it was so loud I did not even hear the horn.
Okay.
And I wasn't 100% sure if the ball, went in before the horn sounded because of the noise level. And so at that point, I'm looking at my lead official, and he starts doing this waving. And I thought in my mind, okay, it looks like he's waving it off. And I was like, okay, if he's doing that, what do we got here? So that's when I started walking over to him, and then he's signaling
count it, game. And then he takes his hand, said, no, the game's over. That's what he was implying about it.
Right.
And so, after looking at your notes and reading everything, what you had sent about coming in with the signal and flushing it and that, I was like, yeah, I'm totally get all that, because that's obviously the C's responsibilities. They got the clock and the shot at the end of the quarter, or at the end of the game. And so I think from what I can typically remember on that specific play, it was so extremely loud, I did not even hear the horn go off because of the crowd.
Now you guys get together on the timeout and you talk about last second shot responsibilities, and you said that
yes,
your opposite table
yes,
have it. It's always good to talk about. Now we're speaking about this end of the court. Right? Your conversation was regarding this end, thinking that this would be the last shot. Did we talk about, if there's a steal and we go the other way, who has last second shot?
I don't think we did.
So
to be honest with you.
So that's always a good thing now that we can add on last second plays. Let's talk about who has last second shot on this end. And if we have a quick steal, who has last second shot on this end? Because I do feel that this change of possession now kind of threw you off a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe if we had spoken about that would have triggered you to maybe sprint up a little bit more, knowing, all right, this is my play. Now it's really my play. This is the game, most important call of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to flush this one home.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it was a good hustle to get in position. I didn't hear a horn either.
So, yeah, when I finally got a copy of this tape, I had to play it back like 2 or 3 times just to hear it. And sure enough, the horn sounded as the ball was going through the net.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's clear.
So
okay, I did kind of hear it.
Yeah. So
in those moments, did you register that the horn sounded as the ball was going through?
No, not at that moment. No. No. And so, I think after looking at this and studying it and learning it and observing it, I think what I should have done was kind of held my hand up and gone straight to my my co-official and say, okay, what do you got? And he tell me instead of him signaling it, and then flushing it at the end of the game. Yeah. Instead of just standing there frozen.
Right.
Because I'm like, I did not know, I was like, I don't know what to do. This guy's signaling it. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody in the stands, if you look, because it kind of looked like he was just waving it off. And I'm like, okay. So
on last, go ahead. What else you got?
No, that was it.
So on last second shot opportunities, I like to let the play breathe for like 1 second. So I'm not going to come in and score it like immediately as the horn goes off, because I don't think that's as clear as if we just let it breathe. So shot goes up, horn, ball goes in, let it breathe, doo-doo, score it, like loud whistle. And again, it doesn't have to be emphatic. We don't want to look excited that the game is over. Too many officials are out there doing emphatic signals. It shows excitement for the team that you're calling it for.
Yeah.
But we still have to present strength. So just find the balance between not being emphatic, but still really, snapping one home.
Okay.
And time it out, couple whistles, doo-doo, score it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And then, maybe look at the table, do one extra, score it, but it doesn't have to be like multiple flushes. It's good. If we do it loud enough in the right time and space, then it sells itself.
Okay.
But great first play to look at. Is there any other layers that we can maybe add? I mean, this just comes down to end of game readiness. I know there was an issue with the horn, but we do have the time that we could have looked at as well. Were you able to have the time in sight with the play?
Yeah, I was sprinting down, and as I was sprinting down, I took one last glance at it, and it was kind of like a blur. And I think right about where that coach is standing, out on the court right there on that picture, I think there was about 3 seconds at that point. So, but to add layers to this kind of a situation, I feel like, there could have been maybe a pause if I would have held the hand up, started blowing the whistle, kind of pushing everybody back toward the team bench area, and then kind of collaborated with my co-official to find out, instead of then just everybody coming out on the court and celebrating that way. Not knowing 100% sure if it was counted or not.
Well, I like that you weren't 100%, so you didn't. It's better than waving the shot off.
Right.
Like if you're not 100%, I guess the crew chief then can take responsibility for the last play. And guys want to get together to reassure that you're 100%, most important play of the game. But next game, when you have a last second shot, you're going to be ready. You're going to be locked in.
Oh yeah.
You're going to score at home, and then you're going to walk up.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely communicate the fact that if we have something like this again, we need to come together before starting to signal no shot or not good, or it's good.
Yep. Okay, so should we rewind and start from the beginning?
Yeah, we can. I thought I'd just start out with that one for us.
That was great. And listen, that's the most important play of the game, so might as well speak about it first.
Exactly.
All right, so opening toss, starting the game. Make sure we're on the 28-foot mark. You're a little close to the midcourt line here.
Yep.
And then starting the clock. Instead of chopping down, I like the high chop. See how your arm just kind of awkwardly just goes to the ground.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what kind of threw me off on that is the R. He tossed it up kind of too low, and it kind of threw me off guard, because I never called with him before, but that kind of threw me off, because I figured it'd be a lot higher than that.
So did you think about redoing it? Is that what threw you off, or just the low toss?
Just the low toss. And I probably could have stopped it and asked him to redo it.
Definitely could have. But it's okay. But regardless, if your partner has a good toss or a great toss, we're not going to change anything.
Okay.
So try that high fist chop.
Okay.
It takes us right to 45 seconds slot and center movement. When there's no pressure in the backcourt, there's no need to stay and assist, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's kind of like one of my gray areas that with me is like when do you know when to like just kind of as a C just kind of get up the court and let's get into the front court versus kind of staying back and assisting.
Well, what are we assisting? It only if he needs assistance.
Right.
In this case, there's no defenders.
Okay.
If there's pressure in the backcourt, then you're the center, then you're going to stay in that middle quadrant of the court.
Okay. So that rotation right there, I know I didn't see it until I see it right after the guy shoots the ball.
So right here, as your partner's moving, just try to put it in your muscle memory that as soon as he takes a step, you feel it.
Yeah.
You just feel it. That's that higher level crew awareness to know where your partners are and how they're moving.
Right.
Okay, but you're still okay here.
Okay.
So just staying a little bit more sideline oriented in trail. Remember, in a 2-person, we have to come out on the court a little bit more. And you still have times where you come out on the court in a 3-person. But just as a guideline for you, just work the sideline.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's look at 210. Be engaged.
Okay.
Lots of activity happening in this sequence. The first play, is it all ball? Foul.
So yeah, I'm trying to get it queued up on my end. Okay, here we go.
Good.
Rebound. Okay.
Yeah, what was that? Was that?
Yeah, that was all ball. You know, it's kind of that term body ball body.
I know the term.
And so yeah, that one it was all ball on that one. And then I guess kind of at one point there's those two guys that kind of before the kid falls to the ground, they do kind of both held ball at the same time. So yeah, I probably could have got that one right there.
Travel.
But then with that, yeah. And then after the scuffle, then it was kind of become a held ball or became a foul because there was no team control. Nobody had it. They were just kind of scuffling around at the bottom. So yeah, I think to prevent, before that travel call, there was an opportunity to have a held ball before that kid had fallen to the ground.
But then once he does fall to the ground, if we don't have a held ball, then we got to have a travel.
Travel, yeah.
When you report your hold there, you had a really good signal, but I want you to add a new directional point as another layer. So you're reporting your foul, white 22, hold, white ball, blue ball.
Point it. Okay.
Just add one more step to it. It's just going to add another layer of strength.
Okay. So I think just kind of when I was looking through it for the most part, I think a fourth of it was me in the trail position.
Yeah.
And I think that is something I'm glad you pointed that out because, I think for the longest time I was kind of, always taught or told, work the angle, be sure that you can try and get in between, that you can work your angle, make sure you can see, referee the play instead of more like going toward the sideline and kind of opening up your body to a certain degree, and then officiating from that perspective. Like right there in the video, I'm kind of at that angle instead, like right there, that's where my back should be when I'm officiating at the trail position, if that makes sense.
So you're saying you need to be more square and open to the play?
Yeah, I think so, as a trail.
Okay. So mechanically, I'm noticing your hand is almost a little bent. And this is something that I used to do and I had to fix on camera too. It feels like I'm putting my arm straight up, but my hand is bending. So when I look at it on film, it doesn't look straight up. It looks like a hook is attached to my hand or whatever.
Okay.
Not straight. So focus on just flattening out the hand.
Okay.
And tuck the hand so the fingers aren't sticking out.
Yeah.
Compact and tight. And then your travel signal look good. But when you point, I'm noticing a little pinky here.
Pinky. Yeah.
No offense, but I kind of want to chop it for you.
Yep. Yeah.
Or I want to fold it back into your hand.
From the video that you sent me in the notes and stuff, when you were showing me in your gym, and I was like, wow, it's the little thing, the little tangibles, these things right here. That's like, man, this makes a huge difference. And yeah, I agree. Cause for the longest time I've had the little pinky issue. I've had the fist opened up and just those kinds of things. Just that's because nobody's really ever taught me that or told me that, mechanically wise. So, but yeah, that that's one of the things that, I'm here working on it. My wife's kind of helping me work on with me. And so, yeah, I'm just taking it from what you'd sent, and just working on those daily as far as keeping the pinky in and pointing at the direction and keeping my fingers close together. So, yeah.
Good. And the same play here. You just had another travel. Everything else that we talked about, make that adjustment in this play too. Travel signal looks strong, but then the pinky sticking out. So again, make those simple adjustments to have a overall stronger presentation. Let me ask you this. How has your wife helped you?
So it's kind of like with the whole pointing, I thought it was very intriguing whenever you said to when you start pointing to not initiate the point before you extend your arm out. So kind of like you got that little fist inside it, and then you push your arm out with the point. And so I was showing her the video and, telling her, this is what Paul's asking me to work on and that. And so she was just kind of like, okay, that's interesting. Cause I think she hasn't seen me officiate a lot of games or not, but it's the little things like that, that she's reminding me on whenever I'm, working on stuff. So it's just kind of a daily habit reminder.
Love it. Keep it all in. Crown refs is for the family and the kids. No, that was nice that you were sharing with her and that she's helping you. That's pretty cool. While you were discussing that, I was also saying this is a good call and a really strong presentation at the table. Let's take a look. You have a block coming up.
Okay.
I like it. You had a good look at it. Lead seemed to just kind of give it up to you. To me, it felt like your play, because based on what I saw in the way the lead looked at you.
Uh-huh.
And I love your block signal. I love your 2-shot signal. Looks really good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, 9:16 coming up. You have a legal screen. Take me through this play.
Okay. So I'm at C. Ball comes over to my side. And so the kid was still he wasn't typically set through that. And as he wasn't set, he basically extended his body out just enough, like a step, to where it would impede the guy in white from guarding it. So like that whole sequence right there with the reporting, that with me in illegal screens is something I know that it definitely needs to be an area of patience, instead of just taking the team control signal, take the hand, push it up to the top, call the foul, and then do the mechanic wise, block, and then with the extra at the end and then to give the team control or the offensive foul control signal, and then point to where the ball is going to be inbounded.
Which level of game is this, James?
This is a 5A varsity boys game.
Some big boys out here. Definitely.
Yes.
It definitely could look like a junior college game or, a college game.
Yeah. It's one of the I think it's one of the teams south of the Metroplex in Dallas, and then obviously one of our big high schools here in Waco.
Great high school games to work.
Yeah.
So how do you normally do your team control signal? Are you punching?
Yes. On the team control, I'm punching. Yeah.
Now you eventually want to do college, right?
Yes, sir. I do.
So did you know in college they've eliminated the punch as a signal?
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I'm watching it on TV and watching the guys work some of the games. Yeah, I'm noticing it quite a lot, that the signal has gone away
For NCAA.
And so so I'm watching it. I'm watching them on TV pretty much, and so I think one of the things I got to work on, and I see them working on it, is their body language whenever, like if that play's coming to you, how are you going to still, turn your body to get that mechanic to go the other way, but yet still watch the play, what's going on right there in front of you.
Good. Yeah, definitely get your hips in it. I don't think officials talk about footwork a lot, especially on plays going the other way, especially on
Right.
plays when we're running in transition one way and then have to turn. Footwork, having good footwork is essential, I think, to getting you set up to present at your strongest. And I like that you said you're turning your hips, but you're also not turning your head.
Right.
You want to stay dead ball connected.
Right.
But I would just say, knowing that this is the approved high school signal and that they've eliminated the punch in college, I would imagine that it's going to be eliminated in high school at some point.
Right.
So I would just say have a head start on that and just go behind the head. Now, they may not change it. They may want to differentiate between the two games, but something like this to me feels like it will trickle down into high school. Now, look, the correct signal for player control has always been behind the head. It's not like we're changing anything. But one adjustment I'm making this year, which is maybe a little awkward initially, was going behind the head on a legal screen now.
Okay.
Because in the NCAA, they've merged the player control foul and the team control foul. It's now the same signal. So normally on my charges, I would punch, but also on my illegal screens, I would punch too. But now it's the same call. Now I'm just stopping the clock and I'm going behind the head on a legal screen, which is an entirely new mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little foresight into what hopefully the level you're going to be working on. So let's try to work on that now.
Okay. Definitely.
So 1645 was just about slowing down your tempo. When you blow the whistle, the spotlight is on you. It's your stage.
Right.
Take time and give everyone what they want to see, which is a nice, strong, confident signal that leaves no doubt about what your decision was. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So too quick of a stop in the clock. And I can relate to that because that's something I'm trying to work on. I've mentioned it in podcasts. Like my hand goes up too quick sometimes, and then I go right into my signal and I can't even see myself stopping the clock, or it looks way rushed. Your hand looked too erratic there.
Yep. Yeah. Usually on the carry calls or like the backcourt calls, I've really caught myself just being real quick and animated at it.
It's because they wake you up when you're not expecting it. But let's just not be surprised by anything. Somebody does something real quick and like, oh,
yeah,
it wakes us up.
Right.
But we got to be slow throughout the game.
Yeah.
1910, you got a charge mechanic.
Okay. 1910. Okay.
Okay, interesting play here. Let's see if the defender has established legal guarding position. Well, the reason why I say it's interesting is because he's not directly in front of the offensive player, which doesn't necessarily mean he's illegal, but it doesn't look what's the word I'm trying to, it just looks a little abnormal.
Right. Because he's kind of gathering to embrace the impact.
He makes a bit of a weird movement. I guess that's him protecting his stomach.
Yeah, I think so.
I would look much weirder if I was out there trying to take a charge, protecting myself. So I can't say anything bad about it. The last charge I took was in 1998, so I should shut up. And it was probably the only charge I took.
Yeah.
So I like the wave off on charges if you especially on the made basket, but your wave off here is too short and it almost looks like the ball got deflected into the backcourt. Right?
You're right.
Counting money.
Yeah.
Like quick, you're counting a few hundreds and then you're showing it. You're showing your point. So I like a bigger wave off.
Right.
Fist, wave it off from your head.
Wave off.
One wave off into your point.
Yeah. And I've noticed I've seen a lot of the guys on TV doing that. And I'm like trying to muscle memory that for myself because I see them doing it a lot.
Because you decided to go with the wave off, which is adding an additional signal. So we just got to slow everything down. Remember, we
Right.
want each signal to stand alone. Fist,
Right.
foul, stands alone. Wave off, clearly stands alone. Okay, no basket. Now I've registered that, I processed that, I can understand that. Charge. Okay, that was easy. So the ref called a foul, he waved off the basket, and we're going the other way. I understand.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
That being said, I like this whistle. I think it's a correct call. He's bracing for impact. Good.
Yep.
Really good. And again, you tuck the pinkies though.
Yep. I saw it.
You know, I saw it too.
Oh yeah.
I have pinky radar.
Yes. Yeah.
Funny stuff. You got to make learning fun.
Oh, I agree.
I'm not trying to sit here for 2 hours on a Sunday and like just look at plays like and not make it fun. We got to make this interesting. I've learned the best learning and best education is when you're having a good time. So that's why I hope people get a little bit of that sense with my content in Crown Refs. Like, yo, we're here to have fun. We're here to make this fun.
Right. Right.
Because that's when you're doing the best job.
Yep.
If you don't love it, if you're not having fun, you're not doing as good a job as you think you are.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next? I want to go to communication with coaches. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, 30-10.
So 30-10.
Anytime I see a coach interaction, my eyes light up because I want to bring value to you moving forward in your future interactions and conversations with these coaches who can be mean. Yeah, I said it. They are mean. Some of them, a lot of them. And you know what? A lot of the ones that are really nice have mean moments.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. All right, 30-10, communication with coaches. Let's see what we got. Live ball. Shot goes up. Rebound. Okay. So we got a rebounding foul.
Yeah.
From the center, which the coach from the red team, where you're positioned right in front of him, starts barking. Take me through this.
Well, for the most part, he wasn't really like agitated at that what the call was. He was just kind of like, I wouldn't say necessarily under his breath, but it was more like he knew that was kind of a bad call because he and I both kind of saw from where our angles standpoint was at, and he didn't like the call. He didn't see any displacement from his guy. So he just kind of mentioned a comment about, hey, just keep an eye out on that stuff. And I was like, yes, sir.
Okay. But let's not have judgment for a partner's call during a live ball during the game.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's say it was an incorrect call. It's not our job in that moment to make that ruling. Following up the game, then we can judge and say, okay, we could have had this. We should have had or should have let this play go here. But in that moment, we can't go into that conversation with that coach and you both know, no, it was the wrong call. Like, we don't want to have conversations on that framework.
Right.
Just coach, we gotta trust my partner there. He's right there. He's looking right at the play.
Yeah.
And for referees listening, if there's ever times, and I'm sure there are, where coaches are yelling across the court, the table side official needs to handle that. I've seen a lot of games where the table side official is just watching the coach communicate across the court, and whether it's positive or negative, table side guy, coach, hey, I'm right here. You can talk to me. If you want to ask me about a play, I'm here to listen. If you want to ask my partner about that play, he'll be over to you at the next timeout.
Right. Yeah.
So too many officials are allowing coaches to yell at their partners instead of diffusing and calming down right away.
Right. Yeah.
And it looked like you did a nice job of that, at least lending an ear there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Coach just wanted to vent. So all you're really doing is listening and playing defense. What I mean by defense, I hear you, coach. Okay, you might be right.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yep.
We'll look out for that. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate the way you're talking to me.
Yep.
Defense. That's how I play defense.
Okay. I like that little extra. I appreciate you talking with me. I like that.
It matters.
Yep.
It really matters.
Yeah.
Because I do
Yep.
appreciate him talking to me like that. Just like
Yeah.
I don't appreciate when they're yelling across the court.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you when you're doing good, and I'm going to tell you when you're not. That's what you're getting with me. You're getting 100% transparency.
Yep. Yep. And I think just to add more to that kind of a communication barrier is the fact that throughout the playoffs and toward the latter part of the season, I was listening to one of your shows, or just a bit of information about after timeouts, going up to the coach, say, "Hey, coach, you got questions? You got anything?" I think that's very valuable. I mean, just because you may not get the chance to have a coach either complain to you or ask you a question throughout the game that night, just, going over there and talking to them. And even though if they're winning or losing, hey, you got any questions? You have something you want to talk about? And I found out that, like 90% of them would say, no, I'm good. Or they would say, yeah, I got a question about that. And they always would say, thank you.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this, just hearing something from you got from Crown Refs, taking that to the table, and just like, wow, this does make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, to all the refs listening out there, if you haven't done it, take it and do it tomorrow in your game. It's going to make an impact. It's the undisputed best time to talk to a coach. My next guest on the podcast, although when they hear this audio, he would have already been on, John Clougherty, who's a 12-time Final Four official. He was talking about a play from a national championship game where Larry Brown in 1988 really let him have it after one of the early plays in the game. And then John went up to him after his team had dispersed from a huddle and delivered his message. And, I just got to talking about that play. I'm like, John, I love the way you went over during a timeout and said that. Is that the best time to do it? He goes, absolutely. So, I mean, he confirmed something I already knew, but it's nice to hear it on that level. It's the best time to go give them your messaging.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Totally worth it.
And most of the times when you go over to talk about a play, they had forgotten about that play, or they don't want to talk about it anymore. It's not that important to them.
Yeah. Yeah. 48-23. Talked about referee the shooter up and down.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get to that point. 48-23. Okay. So on this particular play, I'm at C. So the pass gets right there. So what I distinctly remember about that one, even though the kid does fall down, there was space in between them.
Okay.
And so me knowing that at that moment, because the defender never engaged or knocked him over, because his momentum is taking him to the sideline. So with me seeing that and being right there on top of the play, and that kid just kind of falling, I didn't have any contact or any call for a foul on that one.
So there was no contact at all?
No contact at all.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, we can't argue contact at all.
No, I know, but I was making some notes on highlighting the stuff that I was just kind of wanting to mention it and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, because from our angle, it looks like there is a little bit of contact. I don't know if it's incidental or illegal, but if you're telling me that there's no contact on this play, there's nothing to discuss.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask like something like that for the big boys, the Division I, Division II, is that considered necessary like a flop warning right there?
I mean, it could. If you think he went down with no contact, then yes, it could be. I can't accurately tell you if it's a flop or not.
Okay.
But I would say I think you can make one more late position adjustment here to get a little bit wider, because as I play the tape, it looks like you're a little bit too on top of this matchup.
Yeah.
I think a step back towards the sideline is going to give you a little bit more field of vision.
Okay. So just take a step backwards instead of down toward the baseline.
Like you're right on top of the players.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see
we
it.
Need a little bit more space.
Okay.
I know I stopped the game a few times just to show you how strong you look. That's great. What else do you have on your mind? Are there any other questions, maybe not regarding this game, that you want to ask?
Topics
that you've been struggling with? Parts of your game you're looking to fill?
I think just for the most part, become more patient.
Yeah.
Take the video advice that you gave me and work on that, and hopefully, I can get something this spring, definitely within some camps this summer. I know and I understand that it's kind of a process, how it works usually. I mean that's what everybody down here tells me anyway. So I thought, one of the comments you made about in the notes was the pants tend to be a little bit baggy. So I've actually taken into consideration that I've got a couple pair ordered.
Good.
And on their way. And so, and the shirts I got, I got them for the size that would fit me for the most part. Let's see.
I think you're in better shape than your uniform tells me.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys, they give me a hard time because I like to try and do some, some quick stretching and some push-ups or something before the game, just to kind of get the blood flowing.
You want a pregame kind of pump. You want the pregame pump.
Yeah.
I know. Go ahead.
So, but I think just being more patient, having being in the correct position, I know not every game's going to be perfect, and this is one of those crafts and things that you can take something from every game, even like every quarter, every half, and just muscle memory it and work on it. I think a lot of the guys, that call on TV, they're kind of the same way. I like, we don't get a lot of opportunity to like post game stuff. A lot of us, I don't like to fall into this category, but a lot of us, we call the game, we get back in the locker room and get our stuff and go. And I'm one of those guys who I like to pregame the stuff, because not every pregame is the same, and even during the playoffs here, like one of the guys I was calling with that night, he did like a 20-30 minute pregame, and I loved it. Some of the stuff that he was going through, just like, what, I forgot about that. That's right. It's the little things that you don't can kind of take for granted and forget about, and stuff like that. And post game, I'm one of those where, hey, if you saw me do something in that game, I want you to tell me about it. I'm not afraid to take criticism. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better, and to help others as well. So for me, the last, I'd say 5 to 6 years, it's taken to my heart a lot, and I really enjoy it, and I want to be out there. I think it's just something about basketball officiating, the intensity of the game, the moments, the spotlight, the audience level, the atmosphere is just intensifying, and you're out there and you're enjoying it in the moment, and you're getting to see some awesome athletes, and just you're soaking it all in at one time.
Well, I enjoyed listening to you share that, and I give you a lot of credit and respect for your passion for the craft, and it's what's led me and you to have this moment and work together. We share that commonality, so appreciate all your support, and anything else I can do to help you along the way. My number, my door is always open, so I wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for doing this IPR with me.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Paul.
Have a great rest of your season, and best of luck at that camp. Let me know how it goes.
Will do. Definitely.
Take care, James.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs Podcast. Serve the game.